Thank you for watching. Hello guys, how are you? Um, let's check out this page right here. I want to see how it appears on the screen. Right. So like halfway here, I gotta remember. All right. Hello. This is the May version on the right, and this is the July version on the left. Let's see how they are different, how they are the same. I think the first part is the same. It's unique to Google, right? What you can expect from us, what we expect from you, content in Google services in case of problems or disagreements. Very nice, I think, very nice articulation. I like their style of articulation, unique and also um, like user friendly. Really like it. Age requirements. If you are under age required to manage your own Google account, you must have your legal guardian's permission to use Google account, and so on. Looks the same, but now in here it is different. But actually, it is the same. It's just the title, the subtitles font needs to be changed so that it becomes bigger right there. These terms help define the relationship between you and Google. So it is not. It doesn't say Alphabet. It does say Google. Okay. One thing that I regretted that is that I could not easily find in Chrome how to do this split screen in one tab. So I use Edge for this Microsoft Edge. Okay, next. Uh, we provide a broad range of services that are subject to these terms, including apps and sites, platforms, integrated services, devices like Google Nest, and Pixel. Many of these services also include content that you can stream or interact with. Our services are designed to work together, making it easier for you to move from one activity to the next. Sorry if I'm annoying because if I read it with accent, people might not understand. So I'm going to use like semi airport accent. For example, if your calendar event includes an address, you can click on that address and maps can show you how to get there. Dun, 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 dun. Develop, improve, and update Google Service. So looks the same, guys. First paragraph and second paragraph looks identical. If I'm not missing anything, it's identical. It's about we are constantly developing new technologies and features to improve our services. For example, AI, right? And to better detect and block spam and malware. As part of this continual improvement, we sometimes add or remove features and functionalities. When a service requires or includes downloadable or preloaded software, that software sometimes updates automatically on your device. Some services let you adjust your automatic update settings. Oh, if you guys are listening to this, I'm just skipping around. It is not the full copyrighted text. If we make material changes that negatively impact your use of our services, or if we stop offering a service, we'll provide you with reasonable advance notice except in urgent situations, such as preventing abuse, responding to legal requirements, or addressing security and operability issues. We'll also provide you with an opportunity to export your content from your Google account using Google Takeout, which is, guys, I find it like hellish or very multiple problems when I'm using it because there are a lot of data, right? And it randomized. Like if you didn't do it from the beginning to the end, you probably would have lost the order of things. The which one, folder is first, which folder is next. Contain the contents is also going to be randomized the next session if you make a separate session. So I think this is big such a big problem. Why is it such a big problem? subject to applicable law and policies. What we expect from you compared to the May version, guys? Let me check. Sorry about the lighting. Let me try to do something about this also. Is it does it work? It doesn't work. Wait. Um is it okay now? L- Hopefully it's okay. Hmm. Still changes a little bit, but maybe not that drastic. The camera adjusted the picture all the time. It doesn't do that as much right now. Sorry about that. Let's continue on. Looks the same. What we expect from you, the permission we give you to access and use our services continues as long as you comply with these terms, service specific additional terms. And we also make various policies. Um, and these are the links to other relevant terms. You still have to read this. It's not complete if you just read this one. In my according to what usually terms and conditions do. Although we give you permission to use our services, we retain any intellectual property rights we have in the services. Next, respect others. We want to maintain a respectful environment for everyone, which means you must follow these basic rules of conduct. Comply with applicable laws, respect the right of others, don't abuse or harm others or yourself, and so on and so on. Looks the same, guys. Looks pretty much identical. Continuing on, don't abuse our services. Most people who access or use our services understand the general rules that keep the internet safe and open. Unfortunately, a small number of people don't respect those rules. So we're describing them here to protect our services and users from abuse. In that spirit, you must not abuse, harm, interfere with, or disrupt our services or system, or, for example, by introducing malware, spamming, hacking, jailbreaking, adversarial prompting, um, accessing or using our services or content in fraudulent or deceptive ways, including such as phishing, creating fake accounts, misleading others into thinking that generative AI content was created by a human, providing services that appear to originate from you when they actually originate from us, providing services that appear to originate from us when they do not. Using our services, including content they provide, to violate anyone's legal rights, such as intellectual property or privacy rights, reverse engineering our services or underlying technology, such as our machine learning models, to extract trade secrets or other proprietary information except as allowed by applicable law. Wow. Let's and then using automated means to access content from any of our services in violation of the machine readable instructions on our web pages. For example, robots, txt files that disallow crawling, training, or other activities. Wait, I don't understand. Please bear with me for a bit. Let me read it. Using automated means to access content from any of our services that disallow crawling. Why the disallowing is the problem? Okay, continuing on, using AI generated content from our service to develop machine learning models or related AI technology, hiding or misrepresenting who you are in order to violate these terms, providing services that encourage others to violate these terms. Permission to use your content. Some of our services are designed to let you upload, submit, store, send, receive, or share your content. You have no obligation to provide any content to our services, and you are free to choose the content that you want to provide. If you choose to upload or share content, please make sure you have necessary rights to do so, that the content is lawful. Okay, so far they are identical. License, your content remains yours, which means that you retain any intellectual property rights that you have in your content. For example, you have intellectual property rights in the creative content you make, such as reviews you write, or you may have the right to share someone else's creative content if they've given you their permission. We need your permission if your intellectual property. Okay, so this one is abrogated. This part right here. We need your permission if your intellectual property rights restrict our use of your content. You provide Google with that permission through this license. Oh, it's not. It's not abrogated. It's right here also. What am I thinking? What was it that I was thinking? What's covered? This license doesn't affect your privacy rights. It's only about intellectual property rights. So to be clear, guys, sorry about that. Still identical, but in terms of format and presentation, definitely changes. So maybe they consider this to be better than this style, which is very artistic. I don't know why the removal of the artistry, but okay, new things is new things, more user friendly, again, pretty cool. This license is worldwide, which means it's valid anywhere in the world. Okay, wait a minute, what's not covered, this the license doesn't affect your privacy rights. It doesn't affect your privacy rights. It's only about your intellectual property rights. My bad. This license doesn't cover these types of content. Publicly available factual information that you provide, such as corrections to the address of a local business. I think, Trump speak very clearly. It is so I appreciate that about him. The way he speaks is trying to be clear for everyone. And not about that. It's just because the way it is so followable, I guess. You can track what he said and you can criticize what he said. That is such that's manly. In a respectable manner. Okay, I'm not being I'm sorry about that. Okay. Publicly available factual information that you provide, such as correction to the address of a local business, that information doesn't require a license because it is considered common knowledge that everyone's free to use. Uh, Is it debatable or not in this one? Feedback that you offer, such as suggestions to improve our services, feedback is covered in the service related communication section below. There's a link to that section, which is something that's going to be in this same page. So it is not a link towards a different page. We're hopefully we'll visit that later. I think this is pretty heavy. This one, what's not covered. I guess you would want to check it out yourself. This video is disclaimer. This video is not a legal advice. This is not professional advice. Obviously, I'm just being a casual human reader, an amateur reader that is obligated to read these things. That would be considered by Google to have read and understood and have agreed to these things, as with all of the other sites, terms and conditions. So even though I am not a professional, I have to do it, right? So this is something that I so that's the concern. This license is worldwide, non-exclusive, and royalty free. So still the same with the May version. Rights, this license allows Google to host, to publish, blah blah blah, modify, blah blah blah, sub license, blah blah blah. Still the same. Next, purpose. The license is for the limited purpose of operating and improving the services, which means allowing the service to work as designed and creating new features and functionalities, still the same, guys, and so on and so on. This includes using automated systems and algorithms to analyze your content for spam, malware, illegal content, to recognize patterns in data, such as determining, right? That's the way to say it. When to suggest a new album in Google Photos to keep related photos together. Right. Okay. It is something that I usually would overlook because I don't really that concerned about pictures or photos. I don't know, guys. How is this important? I don't really understand. I think I've missed some concerns here. To cause so please leave the comment in the comment section below if you know about this better than me. To customize, or if you want to say something about this, to customize our service for you, such as providing recommendation and personalized search results, content, and ads, which you can change or turn off in ad settings. This analysis occurs as the content is sent, received, and when it is stored. This is so this is surprisingly heavy. Purpose. This license is for the limited purpose of operating and improving the service, using content you've shared publicly to promote the service, developing new technologies and services. So it uses a lot of words that seems to be common, surface, but if you read it, for example, to promote a Google app, we might quote a review you wrote. If you read it, it seems like it has a lot of implied consequences. Let me just say that. Seems like there are consequences that should not be overlooked like the way you would read it usually. I think you should spend something extra in here, aside from me personally, because of the way read English. I think I think it's unrelated to that. Apart from that, I think there are some concerns here that are also probably would be overlooked. Next, duration. This license lasts for as long as your content is protected by intellectual property rights. Still the same with the May version. If you remove from our services any content that is covered by this license, then our system will stop making that content publicly available in reasonable amount of time. If you already shared your content with others before removing it, for example, if you shared a photo with a friend and then make a copy of it or shared it again, then that photo may continue to appear in your friend's Google account even after you remove it from your Google account. If you make your content available through other company services, it is possible that search engines, including Google Search, will continue to find and display your content as part of their search results. So how exactly should I clean it? All right. I think there's a concern here that needs to be looked at further. Using Google services, all right? So different and font boldness and font style, your Google account, that's about it. It's practically still identical. I think, the differences, I've already asked Gemini for this before, more in the AI section, probably. So before we get into that, we're still going to be seeing identical stuff. But it's still useful to browse through these things because maybe you can find a little gem here and there. So I'm just going to continue on. Already 19 minutes, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Next, no one is watching anyway. Anyway, using Google services on behalf of an organization or business. Many organizations, such as business, nonprofit, I'll get back to to the skip version later. The schools take advantage of our services to use our services on behalf of an organization. An authorized representative of that organization must agree to these terms. Your organization's administrator may assign a Google account to you. That administrator might require you to follow additional rules and may be able to access or disable your Google account. Um, uh, your Google account, if you meet these age requirements, you can create a Google account for your convenience. Some services require you to have a Google account in order to work. For example, you use Gmail, you need a Google account. You are responsible for what you do with your Google account, including taking reasonable steps to keep your Google account secure. And we encourage you to regularly use the security checkout. I'm gonna try to be more Trump like, right? I think service related communications to provide you with our services. We sometimes send you service announcement and other information. To learn more about how we communicate with you, see Google privacy policy. I'm so bad at it. Okay, I'm not as good as that Chinese guy. If you choose to give us feedback, such as suggestions to improve our services, we may act on your feedback without obligation to you. We're not obligated to you to act on your feedback because it's probably stupid. Excuse me. Next. Oh, here we go. There's a difference. We got a new difference. Cellular Wi-Fi and other network connection costs. Google services may frequently use the internet when you are not actively engaged with the services of or your device. Right? When you're not actively engaged, like you're shooting somebody, pew pew, right? Google still may use your internet. All right. Google uses the internet in this way for a wide variety of purposes. For example, to provide software updates, for example, and to improve Google's services, security, user experience, and or Google's operations, including advertising. Wow, what advertising without our supervision? What's going on? All right, okay. Why am I talking like that? Um, Including advertising, these uses rely on your cellular, Wi-Fi, and or other network connections and may count against your data allowance with your cellular or internet service providers. You are responsible for all of these network usages and associated costs. Excuse me, Google. I know maybe you're gonna say that you can switch off your internet, right? You can control all of these things. After you use it, you can switch it off or something like that. Just switch off your Wi-Fi, your laptop Wi-Fi or your device's Wi-Fi or something. But um, but I it's not my first concern is not even about advertising. It's about I forgot. I forgot like midway what I was about to say. I'm sorry about that. You're responsible for all of these not network usages and associated costs. You may wish to check your cellular or internet service plan and your device and network settings. Oh yeah, I just remember. My concern is about downloading the thing. The Google takeout. A lot of internet. There's a lot of internet to do that. And now you oh, I still have to pay for more. I still have to pay for more internet. Google, please give us cheap internet. I know like Elon Musk is now able to provide like Tesla internet, guys, or Google, but probably you can make it better, right? Especially when you demanded so many of the stuff. And probably, okay, we're gonna check out the privacy we probably should check out Google's privacy policy, because when I check Microsoft privacy policy, it says that it doesn't use personalized data to train the AI, right? So I don't know whether that requirement applies to Google as well. I think like if it's using our internet in the background to train their AI, it's also like, I think, why are we not getting paid for that as well? You know, why am I talking like an Indian? Okay. Probably it's because of Google. The team feels so Google, and a lot of Indians are in Google. So I feel like, that's relevant in my subconscious. So sorry about that. If you don't like it, some people don't like other people use their accent. I don't understand why, because it's just about trying to make you understand better. It's trying to connect. I mean, it would be inevitable, but I don't know why. I don't know. Okay. That's just my opinion. Your content. Some of our services allow you to generate original content. Google won't claim ownership over that content. Okay, so this is the difference. Actually, they highlighted the green. Some content may not be suitable for everyone. Some of our services give you the opportunity to make your content publicly available. For example, you might post a product or restaurant review that you wrote, or you might upload a blog post that you created. See the permission to use your content section for more about your rights in your content and how your content is used in our services. See the removing your content section to learn why and how we might remove user generated content from our services. If you think someone is infringing your intellectual property rights, you can send us notice of the infringement and we'll take appropriate action. For example, we suspend or close the Google accounts or of repeat copyright infringers as described in our Copyright Help Center. Let me repeat this part. Some of our services give you the opportunity to make your content publicly available. So you gave Google permission to use your content that you write in their platform, right? And that will expose you to other people using, for example, your funny comment, for example, in their own, like they copy your funny comment to comment in a different video. I guess. And you can send us notice of the infringement if you think someone is infringing your intellectual property rights, right? And we'll take appropriate action. Well, I guess, in a lot of cases, that would be okay, right? But in some cases, it is too valuable. It is too valuable, and probably some people want to sue. I don't know. But sometimes, also, if you've lived for a long time like me, like millions and millions of years, right? You would want a little bit of leeway on this, because sometimes the things that you thought came from yourself, right, is actually something that your parents was talking about probably when you were a baby, right? Your parents were fighting in your room, and you subconsciously probably took that in. So when you debate somebody on the internet, some of those came out, and your dad be like, "Yo, kid, you infringe my copyright." And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know. Uh, I didn't. Yeah, I guess that, right?" And then Google content. Some of our services include content that belongs to Google. For example, many of the visual illustration you see in Google Maps You may use Google's content as allowed by these terms and any service specific additional terms, but we retain any intellectual property rights that we have in our content. Don't remove, obscure, or alter any of our branding, logos, or legal notice. If you want to use our branding logos, please see the Google brand permissions page. It's like a public service announcement. If you wanna blah, 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 please see the government website and see it. Yeah. Don't smoke. Please don't. All right. I'm doing somebody else now. Probably I'm doing like that female comedian in Wild and Out. I couldn't remember her name. Maddie Smith. Probably I'm doing Maddie Smith right now. Other content. Finally, some of our services give you access to content that belongs to other people or organizations. For example, a store owner's description of their own business or a newspaper article displayed in Google News. You may not use this content without that person's or organization's permission or as or otherwise allowed by law, right? For example, Maddie Smith was in the back of your head. I don't know whether she already have a boyfriend or not. It is not that I'm in love. It is just that she's awesome, right? For example, it's just inspiring at least. And then suddenly, um, it doesn't mean that like you that I use the content without permission. It's not that like I'm trying to break the law or something, but um but maybe people would find it karenable. It's karenable. It's a karenable thing to bring up. And is there or is there not anything you can do about it? The views expressed in other people or organizations content are theirs and don't necessarily reflect Google's views. And this is also a concern, right? Like, for example, you watch my videos, right? And then I do it in YouTube right here. Am I kind of be like, yo, this YouTube guy is saying this about this dude. This YouTube guy is saying that about that girl. Um, Even though it is clear that I am the one that is talking, would there still be retarded people, that would say that, yo, YouTube say that. It's the YouTube people, and it's YouTube. That would include the Alphabet LC. Maybe that's a genius thing. Maybe that's not retarded. How the globe is round. So if you go very far towards the west, you ended up in the east. So if you're far gone retarded, probably you're a genius. Does that work like that? Software in Google Service, some of our services include downloadable or preloaded software. We give you permission to use that software as part of the services. The license we give you is worldwide, which means it's valid anywhere in the world. Non-exclusive, which means that we can license the software to others. Royalty free, which means that there are no monetary fees for this license. Personal, which means it doesn't extend to anyone else. Non-assignable, which means you are not allowed to assign the license to anyone else. For example, when your little sister or little brother is trying to use your computer, Google don't like that. Google is like, don't let them use your computer. Okay, your computer is mine. It's mine, and you cannot give your mom or your dad or maybe your girlfriend access to your computer. No. Okay, so it's not me, it's Google. Some of our services include software that is offered under open source license terms that we make available to you. And also, I think, guys, you know what? I've read Microsoft's. That's that's more relevant, right? Microsoft. So Samsung, guys. Oh yeah, yeah, the same. It's the same, bro. Some of our services include software that is offered under open source license terms that we make available to you. Sometimes there are provisions in the open source license that explicitly override parts of these terms. So please be sure to read those licenses. You may not copy, modify, distribute, sell, or lease any part of our services or software. No. In case of problems or disagreements, both the law and these terms give you the right to one, a certain quality of service, and two, ways to fix the problems if things go wrong. So far, it's still the same. The May version and July version is pretty much similar. About the open source stuff, there are a lot of license. Don't underestimate that. We can have maybe Apache, BSD. We might have MIT. We might have GNU, all kinds of stuff. Personal licenses. Oh, don't don't get me started with that. Everyone's gonna have their own names, right? It's nice to know their names, but it's also nice to have a computer brain. All right, it's can we have licenses can we have a brain that can handle all of these licenses, guys? Or maybe should we do it in a better way, right? For example, like all of the license, uh, even that it's not enough, right? I used to think that if we have like some kind of a standardized license for everything, and every other differences, you write it yourself. For example, Google and Microsoft would have the same license. A lot of things like disclaimer, limited liability is pretty much the same. So internet users are told to you'll get a license certification, otherwise you are not allowed to access all of these sites, right? And then you pass the certification, and all Microsoft and Google would have to do is just say this terms is A, this terms is standardized B, this terms is MIT, Apache, BSD, GNU, and then or CC, of course. And then but we add a little bit of this and a little bit of that. You know what I mean? So it would be much easier. Initially I thought that would be the case, but after reading all of these open source licenses, guys, all of these names is a concern. I haven't met with all of these people. All I can see is that they have different names, and that's valuable. How are you supposed to absorb all of these things with the power of what? Maybe an AI assistant, right? Maybe I could think of an AI assistant system where you could remember all of this stuff. But when the recall concern about the recall is also a thing. Let's get back into that some other opportunity. It's a huge stuff, I guess. The only commitments we make about our services, including the content in the service, the specific functions of our service, or their reliability, availability, or ability to meet your needs, are provided in number one, warranty section, number two, service specific additional terms, and laws that can't be limited by these terms unless explicitly permitted by service specific additional terms. One is different from May. So this is new, guys. Pay attention. Unless explicitly permitted by service specific additional terms, do not rely on the services for medical, legal, financial, or other professional advice. Any content regarding those topic is provided for informational purposes only, does not constitute medical diagnosis or treatment, and is not a substitute for advice from a qualified professional, right? So the previous version says this, that it doesn't matter anymore. Don't rely on the service for medical, legal, financial, or other professional advice. Any content regarding this topic is provided for informational purposes only, and is not a substitute for advice from a qualified professional. Here I go again with my accent, right? I got to talk like Trump. uh, Now it is no longer important unless specific. So the difference would be unless explicitly. That unless explicitly. Explicitly is the emphasis, right? Don't rely on the surface for medical, legal, financial. This is better. This one is better, much better. Unless explicitly permitted by surface specific additional terms, don't rely on the services for medical, legal, financial, or other professional advice. Don't do it. We don't do that in America. All right. Any content regarding those topics is provided for informational purposes only. This part is the same, but then it twisted. Only does not constitute medical diagnosis or treatment. That sorry, purposes only, comma, does not constitute medical diagnosis or treatment, and is not substitute for advice. So previously, um, for informational purposes only. And in this one, specifically trying to say that it does not constitute medical diagnosis or treatment. So, medical advice, I think so, right? Because we have doctors and licensed professional, like lawyers, actually gave their professional knowledge, but not professional guarantee or warranty, whatever that means. Disclaimer, blah blah. But they are professionals and they know their stuff, right? But it does not constitute medical diagnosis or treatment. So this is a little bit weird, right? So if you're live streaming and you're a doctor, right? And somebody was chatting with you about their symptoms, um, you're just talking about that, and eventually it leads to what people could say a conclusion, right? W- it's only logical to say that based on the terms and condition, it is not medical advice. It's not a professional recommendation. I guess it is not medical diagnosis or treatment. Um, of course. But now I'm trying to find what is different from May, from the May version, because in the May version, I think that also encapsulates that already. What is the problem here? What is the concern that we are looking at here? Does not constitute medical diagnosis or treatment. I guess there's an extra emphasis on medical diagnosis or treatment because probably some old people, need YouTube for that. I respect that. Like I don't like the word respect. Like right, it could mean anything, but I just think that medical diagnosis or treatment being said specifically is pretty important because other stuff, they're not. A lot of them are not life threatening, but this one is pretty much very life and death thing situation. So it would only, you know um I don't know, actually. I Now it becomes my professional advice. I'm not giving any professional advice, so I guess the differences is in that emphasis, right? Liability is still the same, right? Probably you can read it yourself. I'm gonna have to go right now, and If you guys have any concern, please leave your comment in the comment section below. And also, I don't know, maybe you can criticize me if that, or just say anything that could help me remember it better, because there's so many terms and condition and so many things to put in to absorb, right? And how to make a neural network or neural connection to things. I would appreciate that if you guys could share it. Thank you guys for watching, and goodbye.